careful now because we're in our 40s, we're in our 50s, and
Dang.
especially you, Dion and Big
I'm
Boy,
sorry.
when it comes to health, when it comes to going to the doctor.
What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. And this time, why are you staring straight at the camera? Why are you staring straight at the camera? This time, I'm gonna be dual reacting with my my friend Isaiah. And today we got a video for y'all. So the inspiration behind this video is Kirk Franklin released the last video of Den of Kings, and me and Isaiah, we had such a I felt like such a great conversation about it. I was like, yo, hop on channel and let's talk about it. And then, by the grace of God, he released another episode, and we were like, yo, we got to. And so, without further ado, what we're gonna be reacting to is the new Den of Kings episode with Kirk Franklin. Isaiah, before we go, Isaiah, if you would like to introduce yourself, say what's up to the people.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isaiah. I am a really long time friend of Reese's, and hopefully I can act like myself on the camera, because whenever the camera comes in my face, I start acting weird. So hopefully it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to get into the video.
Cool. All right, let's get it.
All right.
So this part is we're not gonna react to the whole video because it's an hour and a half, and that's ridiculous. So we're gonna just pick spots and hopefully find the most interesting parts of it and react to that. All right, let's get it.
Man, talking about man enough, my father-in-law just passed. Just about a week ago. Incredible man, was an alpha male, big dude. He knew I didn't have a daddy, so he stepped in when I got married when I was about 25. And I'll never forget Kings. I'm a very sensitive man. It don't take much for me to cry. I was adopted by a woman, so I'm very in touch with my femininity as a man. And I remember a moment I was going through something, and I leaned in on him to cry, because I just wanted to just kind of feel that moment, to just lean on a man's shoulder and just cry. And he's a big dude like y'all, and I caught the image of him in the window, and I'm crying on him, and he's like, he's trying to figure out how to hug, because you could tell that wasn't natural for him to be trying to hug me. And it's like, and I found out that his daddy didn't teach him how to cry, right? Being vulnerable was not part of that generation. And so he was not necessarily able to tap in the way that I was hoping he could tap in to kind of feel my pain. And I want to ask y'all, man, when was the last time something in life, something good, something bad, something difficult, that you were able to tap into that moment where you shed some tears, or were you taught as a young man to not shed tears?
Yeah, I would say we just had to.
That actually, so since we're going to be reacting, I think we should also sometimes answer some of the questions ourselves. When was the last time, were you for you growing up, was it that you weren't allowed to shed tears, or were you allowed to express yourself?
Both. Like, my dad didn't cry a lot. At least I didn't see him cry a lot. I saw him cry a little bit. But he never made me feel like I couldn't cry. We cried, and he comforted us when we cried. But the one thing I actually wanted to bring up to you is I feel like he's conflating perhaps crying and then like knowing how to comfort someone when they're crying.
Okay.
Like, to where like you could know it's okay to cry, but not everyone knows how to comfort. Like, I didn't know for a long time until I held people that cried. I didn't really know how to hold someone that cried. So it could have been that he was okay with his emotions and he was okay crying, But sometimes comforting someone it can be pretty complicated because you don't even know what's the right. Do I two hands, one hand? You overthink it,
Right.
because you're trying to be a support.
Yeah, no. I think that could definitely be I think that could definitely be a factor, but I do think there's probably something to his father-in-law growing up, because if he's his father-in-law, that means that's like 3-4 generations back. That's like he's like a baby boomer, and like that's like, so like their dads fought in like World War II. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, did he have the tools, or was he ever given the tools to be able to express it? I wouldn't think so. And so with them, having the son-in-law who's maybe more sensitive and is willing to cry in front of you, that's probably like a little bit of jarring, like that's probably a jarring thing for him. He's probably like, whoa, like, you're willing to do this in front of me? And then so like, in that comforting is probably even a little bit of culture shock, or like, a little bit of shell shock, like, whoa. I would give a little bit of credence to that. I knew a lot of, yeah. I was fortunate and blessed enough to be raised with a father who was sensitive, and if I did cry, he was able to comfort me. But I also didn't see my dad. I only see my dad cry 2 times, and one time was at my grandfather's funeral, and it was more of like a single Denzel tear from Glory type. Like it wasn't like a ball. He wasn't like bawling, So it's like, even if my dad was like, not against me crying, me not seeing him cry made me be like, I probably shouldn't, or like, I should hold it back. I should kind of, and so it's taken me years. I mean, I'm still young, I'm 27, but like, it's taken me years to kind of be like, to kind of soften up, and kind of be like, okay, it's okay in those moments that I can let a tear go, But like, kind of just coming up, there's I just kind of want to let the video play a little bit longer, but like, there's some interesting answers here.
This conversation on our show with Jason Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And we had the discussion. Literally, it's been almost 30 years for me. You know what I mean? Within that time, I lost my mom, been divorced.
Wait a minute, you say 30 years for what?
Since I've cried.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we live in a society now that it's okay for black men to express their feelings, but we didn't come from that. That's new. Our kids are in this. We came crying as a sign of weakness. Toughen up, get over it, man up, whatever the saying used to be where you were from, but crying wasn't accepted. So that's something. One thing is funny, like literally talked about it in counseling, talked about it on the show, that I've been trying to really unleash, because I know everybody needs a good cry. I just haven't had one in, probably 30 years.
Not even like the birth of your children or anything?
Nah, like excitement, happiness, but like an actual cry. I haven't, like I said, in that time, I've had amazing experiences with the birth of children, and obviously unfortunate with the loss of my mom and my, divorce and everything that comes along, retirement. There's a lot of opportunities, I think, but they just never, losing Kobe. There's a lot of different things, losing Nip. There's a lot of different things you would think that would make you tap into stuff like that, but it just never really happened. I'm looking for, hopefully it's a joyful cry. That's what, what it's gonna be. God willing. Yeah.
Let me ask you again.
What do you think about that? It's been 30 years since Matt Barr cried.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's older than both of us. He hasn't cried since the 90s. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, does that say something about him though? Like, or is it like how? I don't want to say it says something about him, but like more so like because I want to be sensitive to that. If you don't feel it, you don't feel it, or you don't feel like crying, you don't feel it. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
But more so of like, what could make a man so, you know, that whether it's happy things, whether it's sad things, that you don't let one tear down. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess just because I'm a man that cares about words, he didn't say he never, he said he didn't have a good cry. So like he said I've had a good cry. I don't know if that meant like a single tear has never fallen from his face. Because I'm sure he's a basketball player. I know he's probably gotten injured, tearing ACLs. I mean, like I don't want to say I'm skeptical because I never call another man, but it's like I'm just like, whoa. It's just, but again, he did say that there's a generational thing. I don't understand what it's like to grow up in a family or grow up in an environment where I was told not to cry.
Mm.
So I don't know what that's like. Um, I don't know what it's like to, experience a lot of things to experience. So perhaps if I did, maybe I would view this differently. Um, but it's I don't know. Dudes are like some dudes have had really rough experiences when they're young, and like they kind of get some really callous, and it's like I'm sure he's felt it,
Mm.
like the birth of his children.
Right.
So I'm not going to say just because you don't cry doesn't mean, because I guess the thing is, if you say someone doesn't cry, then that means like they're not feeling it, like they're not getting it. There's a disconnect, and I'm not. I guess I'm thinking of, is there some people that just aren't, like they get it, but
Right.
just because they don't cry doesn't mean they don't get it. I guess so. It's kind of where I'm kind of, because I've never heard that, because even my dad, who's a really not a big crier, he's probably cried once every 5 years, once
Right.
every 10 years.
Right.
Not crying for 30 years is crazy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, cause like that's, I don't know, and like, it's not like it was like 30 years of just nothing, right? So it wasn't like it was 30 years and like, and you were in like a neutral zone. Like he admitted, he was like my kids have been born, my mother's died, and Kobe's died, Nipsey Hussle's died, and still nothing. And it's like, I don't know, man. It just feels. It feels broken. It feels broken. Like that's the best way. It's there. Like kind of like you said, it's not that he doesn't feel it, but there is some disconnect to be able, because like that's just healthy to be able to let a tear out every once in a while.
Right. But that's also like where to his point, he's like, we're also like allowed to feel that,
Right. That's
like
fair.
like
We're just part of a different
yeah.
generation where it's okay for us to do that.
Yeah, to us, for us to even think it's okay, he's saying that in and of itself is different than how he grew up.
So
And he's not even that old.
no.
I don't even think he's 50 yet. I think he's in his mid 40s. That means he has some cry since he was a teenager.
Yeah. 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 Wow. Oh wow. Yeah. But I guess you are correct. And there's some mental barrier for him.
Yeah.
There's something that's literally blocking him from being able to feel that. That's
It's like a multiple choice, right? He's like, child is born. Hooray. Do we smile? Do we smile and hug? Do we smile, hug, and cry? It's not.
that's not even an option for him.
It's not even an option.
Wow.
It's not an option in the multiple choice.
Like his body's probably so trained to not even do that anymore. Like his tear ducts are just turned off.
Yeah.
He doesn't-
His tear ducts are dry, dusty. There's nothing in there.
Bro, he don't. Bro, when he yawns, he don't even tear up. He just yawn. Eyes
Don't
stay
tear
dry. Eyes stay dry.
Eyes is dry. You know, like the windshield wiper fluid. His is empty. There's nothing in there. It's dry.
Game for you to be in the same career space as somebody that you looked up to, and to know all of the images that y'all have to be accepted in the world that you come from, and you know you've been excellent at what you've done for a minute. How did it feel? How does it feel for you to know that somebody in your world shares that level of emotion?
You know, for me, so me and Dog, we met outside before I became, you know, me. We met. I was on Langershon getting some gas, and Dog was getting some gas. Of course, he was with his guys, and protected and loved. He had his, all his guys, as he should be. It's Snoop Dogg. And me, I was in a Monte Carlo, just getting some gas, man, trying to, go to the studio. And I asked Dog, I was like, hey, man, I just went for it.
That's the most LA car of all time. I was in Monte Carlo. I was in a Monte Carlo getting some gas.
Yeah, homie. I was in the Monte Carlo, homie, getting gas, and I saw a dog. I was like, wow, this is really LA. This is an LA story, bro. Holy moly.
LA story. Most West Coast story I've ever heard in my life.
I was like, hey, man, I got a song I want you to get on. And he was like, what's your name? And I was like, man, they call me Gang. And I said, I met you when Minister Farrakhan was speaking at the Coliseum, a few years ago, like a year ago. And I told you he didn't even remember, and I knew he wasn't going to remember. But that day, man, we went across the street to Rodney Jerkins' studio. Rodney Jerkins was letting me use the studio to record. Dog came right there, man, got on the song, and that blew my mind. And it was, it burst me, because after that I was like, damn, like I'm talking about across the street in the moment. We did the song, and that was it. But Dog, man, you know what it is with me. I've been, of course, it's Snoop, right? So we all grew up watching Snoop, but his thing, he always been vulnerable. And so I always knew that I could be vulnerable from the gate. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my emotions, it's like, like Matt said, my daddy was, I got beat down if a tear fell. Let a tear fall, and we all got beat down. My dad had this thing.
Wow, beat down is crazy.
Holder called the Board of Education. He would drill holes in it. God rest his soul. I got my fade when I got a little older with my pops over there. Because he gave me one of those ultimatums. He said, well, when you feel like you there, we're going in the backyard. So I turned 19.
And what did you do?
We went in the backyard, but I already knew he had bad knees.
Wait a minute, hold on. You went in the backyard to do what?
I told him I was ready.
For what?
For the fade.
Okay. I'm not trying to be funny, but can somebody explain to me what the fade is?
Yeah, he told me ever since I was little, when I got to that point, I was ready to, throw them hands and give retribution for everything I felt he did to me. We can go in the backyard. So one day, he was, I think he was watching Coming to America, something in his room, laid out, had his little Levi Daisy Duke shorts on. Back in the day, the pops used to wear the fro. I was about 19, and I was like, I'm ready. And he already knew. He was like, oh, he got up quick. We went in the backyard, and I got my one.
That's all we need is one.
How did he respond to you?
Oh, he lost. And all jokes aside, he didn't like that. And we didn't speak for maybe like 2 weeks. He couldn't deal with that. He couldn't believe he lost. But I knew he had bad knees and he was a little slower. And I mean, this is young. I'm the tallest person in my family. So I was there. I was ready, and I was quick.
So much just happened. Right. So much just happened. There was so.
Wow.
He just wow. Okay. All right. So he was just talking about his dad beating him for shedding the tear. And if he feels a certain type of way, when you old enough, we can put up the dukes. We can throw some hands over it. And the way he's just the way he's talking about it, it don't sound like he's like, oh man, that shouldn't have happened. It sounds like he almost kind of proud of it in my head. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's like a generational trauma type thing. Like that's like a like you, hey, if you cry, I'm gonna beat you. And if you got a problem with it, we can fight when you're old enough. Like, that, I mean, like, I don't know what do you do with that?
We got so much more than what we wanted. like I feel like I was like, all right, cool. I wonder how he deals with crying. And then I beat my father up when I was 19. And I'm like, all right. Bro, that's crazy, bro. That's actually nuts because it kind of to our point with Matt Barnes. I'm gonna say like here from the West, Matt Barnes. He's trained. He's conditioned not to cry.
Right.
Like literally, he's saying that if I cried, I get beat. That's like a military.
That's training.
Decent. Yeah, you were trained that way. So no wonder some of these dudes can't cry, bro. They're literally told to get beat up if they cry, so they learn not to cry.
Yeah, but he was saying earlier how he because of Snoop, he's okay with being vulnerable. So
right.
So like in my head, I'm like, okay, so at what point does that come in? Maybe he says it a little bit later, but like. We were asked, okay, how do you deal with like crime? But then, you know, he did kind of go on a tangent talking about how he beat up his dad, which he sounds very proud of. And, you know what I'm saying? Like he sounds proud of, like, I'll put the hands on my pops. You know what I'm saying?
He said he had bad knees. That's what he said.
Yeah, he got bad knees, so I took advantage of that. I was quick. I was like, dang.
Wow.
You know, so maybe he answers that. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of time to maybe answer that.
So damn, man, I got a question for you, bro, man. When you hear about that generation always encouraging us as men to hold that back, looking at our generation, like how old are you, D?
54.
You're 54. Okay, so I mean you close same age. Mm-hmm. Do you think that helped us or hurt us?
I think it hurt us, really. I mean, because, you know, a lot of us have like daughters and stuff, and if you can't really be like emotional with your daughter or your kids or something like that, then I think you're missing out.
Yes.
And you're missing out on teaching them how to be. You know what I mean? I didn't have like no father or nothing like that, so my mother just raised me, so I cried all the time. And if she cried, I cried. Like period. You know what I mean? So I grew up with a lot of emotion. You know what I mean? There wasn't no like father to tell me not to do this or man up. I ain't never been told man up or none of that. You know what I mean? My mother just she was the father and the mother.
Wow.
You know what I mean? She was both, whatever, as best as she could be. You know what I mean? So,
do you think that being able to tap into that type of emotion for you as a man, do you think it helped you?
Yeah, I think so, because I wouldn't probably be doing what I'm doing now, you know what I mean, if I didn't feel. And also, I think it helps you with just being in certain places, you know. If I feel like I shouldn't be in this room, I'm out. You know what I mean? It's really? Like it's the same. It's a feeling you tap into. That's like if I go somewhere and it feel weird, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? It's that same feeling that you have when you're watching a movie or you fall in love or whatever. That's why that tripped me out when you said that. You was like, you ain't cried in 30 years? I was like, wow.
Well, hey, so I had, not to cut you off, but I had reservations about it, and then while we sitting here in real time, I thought about it, and I thought like, his skin could just be a little bit tougher than everybody's, and that's not a bad thing. But then your son's what? 16. It's 16. So for me, Dog, and for me and Dog especially, and I don't know if you have kids or how old they are, but I think your moments are high school graduation, college graduation, weddings and stuff like that. Like,
it's crazy because
and you got a daughter? Or?
I got all boys.
Oh yeah, so there you go again. But see, that's that daughter thing. Like my daughter, if I sit here and I think about her too long, I'm gonna.
But I think to add to what you're saying, though, is I think obviously it helped you, but for me, I think it helped me not to, but also hindered me in ways now that I'm seeing at my age, where I have walls up, or I'm not empathetic enough, or not emotional enough. So again, living in a society now where having these conversations, this wasn't a conversation 20 years ago, but having these type of conversations now makes you see, like, he's always done it, so he's more open to things. I've rarely done it since I was a child, so I'm more closed off in that area where I don't want to be closed off no more. Like, as I get, I'm 45 now, like, and I have kids, so I want to be able to open up and really emotionally feel these experiences that I haven't had in a long time. So that's why when he said kid-wise, I'm excited about that.
You don't strike me.
Do you feel like the difference between having a son and a daughter, like do you think like that daughter opens it? Because if I'm understanding, Matt Barnes in the game, they were raised, I don't want to say similar, I don't know if Matt Barnes beat him for crying, but at least they were both raised to where they shouldn't cry. But for the game, he has a daughter, and so that kind of softened him up. But for Matt Barnes, since he has all sons, he didn't really feel that need to soften up. That, if I'm, so like, do you feel like that's like a almost kind of universal for a man, is when you have a daughter that that she will at some point soften you up?
Yeah, I think so. I can't really explain why necessarily, because all my kids are still pretty young.
Right.
And when they're this young, it's a lot of it's the same. Like, being, excuse me, a lot of it's the same in regards to the mushiness, like the closeness and the emotional stuff. I would say that I do find myself, I am a little bit more emotional with my girls. And I can't necessarily explain why, because of the fact that what I just mentioned prior. I can't really explain why. It's just different.
Right.
It's different. I can't even say because I guess it's because I girls are seen as so precious, like so like almost helpless,
Right.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Whether that's good or bad, it's irrelevant. But that's just how they're viewed. They're just like gentle, soft, and as a man, our natural proclivity is to protect things that can't protect themselves.
Right.
As a boy, you don't necessarily feel that. You're like, okay, he's a man like me. He's going to be a man like me. Not that I don't care about him. Obviously, that's wild. But it's like,
You kind of have to protect,
it's like
kind of prepare him for like what's going to happen.
yeah, for him, it's preparation.
Right.
For the girls, it'll just still be protection, probably for the most part, with some preparation mixed in.
Right. Yeah. Like at least for what I know right now, I only have a boy. We'll find out soon if I have a girl or not. And I think I'm pretty lovey-dovey with him. But there is still like that, the way I talk to him sometimes, and he's super young, less than a year old, and I'm still like, hey bro, you gotta like, you know what I mean, you gotta lock in, like you gotta like kind of like,
You gotta stop crying, man up, go to sleep.
I'll talk to him. I'll be like, hey, come on, dog, come on. While like, I feel like when I have a daughter, I would be like, princess. Oh
Yes.
my, like I already know that about myself. Is that unfair? Maybe, I don't know. But like, I just know what life is like for a guy, and so I have to prepare him for that. I know what it's like to be to be a man and have responsibility and have things you just gotta do and things you gotta prepare for, especially if you're going to just be moved forward, and not only just be a person, but to be a contributing person to society, to be a contributing man to society. That takes preparation. And I can't, You know, I want to show him love. I want to show him sensitivity. I want to show him, how to be gentle, how to be, how to be vulnerable, to have the access to him. But I also want him to be prepared. I want him to be able to protect himself in all aspects, whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally. I want to be able to prep him for that. And what his future responsibilities are going to be when he's the man of his own house, because like I know what that's like to be that, and I need him to be ready for that when the time comes. And for me, that starts day one, and it looks different as he grows. Like I'm not, teaching him how to balance a bank account right now because he can't. He doesn't know numbers, but like he can't read nothing. But like, I think there is a certain attitude I want him to have when it comes to, I want him to be able to tap into having an edge. In a way, I think the way it was just kind of described to me, I would prefer my son to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Is where like you have the capability of being dangerous, you have the capability of being, destructive, but then you are able to control it, especially when you're in a place like a garden and you can learn to appreciate the beautiful things in life, than him to be not prepared and to be a gardener in a war who's never known what it's like to be dangerous at all. That's kind of how I look for my boys, at least. That's how I want to be. And with my daughter, I think you're 100% correct, where it'll be mostly protection, but we also have like our wives, where it's like, okay, they will be showing you what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to grow up and be a woman. It's like, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. So my job is to protect you and show you what it's like to be, is to show you, characteristics for your future husbands, characteristics for like, what your husband should, be like and things like that. And hopefully I do a good job with that, and show them characteristics that they would want to find in their husband.
Right. What's interesting about that, though, and it's not, not to take the conversation this way, but that's why it's so important to have two parents, to a man and a woman married, because the man is always going to be in the more protection mode with the girl, but the woman will actually be more in protection mode with the son.
Yes.
And then how I am with my son, my wife will be with the girls. So they get it from different places. Like the maybe the lack of lovey-dovey mushy stuff that I'm not as much for me. She'll more than make up for that, and vice versa. Like doesn't you have to edit that out.
I got you.
My wife is not as lovey-dovey with the girls probably as she is with my son, which is strange, but so it kind of works. But that's why you need each other, the balance.
Right. Yeah, that the balance is, I think, very important, because it's important to have the different dynamics and be able to, at a young age, if you're able to experience those different dynamics, that you would be better prepped for life.
Now that there's so much public scrutiny or everything that you do, like back in the days when we were growing up, if your mom or somebody, you made a mistake, you made the mistake. Now, each and every person that's sitting here, we probably saw something about us on social media, either the way that we look, parent, it's always somebody inserting themselves into your private lives. Is it different now that social media plays a part? Like, I know about your situation, we had private conversations, but social media now as well, everybody's in your business.
Gift and the curse.
Yeah, the gift and the curse.
I don't don't really like pay attention. I mean, I pay.
You
I
do
pay
be on
attention.
social media, nigga.
pay
I watch you on that
atten-
DJ,
I
roller
be
skating.
I know you're talking about screw, like people talking like stuff about you or whatever. Like you see it, and then it ain't nothing you can do about
Right.
it. The thing about now,
Because I saw you wear an outfit. I thought you killed it.
Which, what?
It was some flare pants,
Oh, dog.
and they got you.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
burnt me, torched me.
What happened?
To smithereens.
Damn, what happened?
Forth and pants,
I had this Gucci bell-bottom suit that I wore, right? And that white boy from One Direction, I forgot his name, he had the same suit on, right? Was praised in GQ magazine and everything, right? I put it on and woo, they was like, this
But that's the enough
gay
I was talking
mother.
about. too.
Yeah, see?
Those are the enough.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough or something.
Man enough, this enough, all of
I have a question, even with that big boy. How do y'all feel that all of that, but because when you do have to pay attention, even when you're not trying to pay attention, you know, like it's almost like being in a room that you may not be doing something in, but whoever's doing something in the room, you know, you still become impacted by it, right? How do you think that is affecting us as black men when it comes to our mental health? Always even having to downplay what somebody's saying about you, or trying to fight yourself to not lean into it or worry about it. You know, think about it, man. You know, like life is already hard enough.
Yeah, but look, black people, it be but black.
You seem like you had something. You seem like that something. You thought about something. I saw the reaction. What happened? What happened,
Bro, every time Kirk says black as a black man, when you feel something, how does that make you feel? I'm like, bruh, I can't. This is my genuinely, like we talked about this, bro. I cannot stand, and I understand what he's saying. It's because he's talking to a room of black men.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, but to pretend like you guys aren't sharing this with the world, you're not really just a couple black men in the room. You're really the entire millions of people watch this. So it's like, it's just, so everyone will have an opinion on it, not just black people. And so it's just every time he says, as a black man, how do you feel about that? I'll be like, well, it doesn't all men feel this to a certain degree, but I digress. So actually, the first thing I was reacting to, where I was just like, I put my head back, was how. So like I think Big Boy, because I mean even when I was growing up, there was MySpace and stuff, but I wasn't really on that stuff.
Right.
There was a sense of anonymity that people had that they can operate in.
Right.
So I understand the idea of people being on your business, and I get that. However, this is where I was kind of like, all right. However, let's not pretend like people don't be putting their business on social media to begin with.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's like that's exactly, you know what? Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So I'm just speak for me. I think there's a picture of my kids on social media, like a picture of my wife, a picture of myself. People be giving constant, like
life updates.
People are giving life updates, like not just pictures of all happy anniversaries, like reels, shorts. Hey, look at my child. Hey, look at my wife. Hey, look at this. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm going grocery shopping. Isn't that crazy? Look what I'm doing right now. I'm picking my nose. Ain't that crazy?
They invite these people into their lives. They invite the internet.
It's an invitation. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's an invitation.
Yeah.
The accessibility is an invitation.
Yeah. Yeah. You let these people into your lives, and then you complain when they have an opinion on your life. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
That if you're gonna be upset when someone talks about, like, that's why, like, even on my social media, you like my wife's face is more hidden. Like, there's no picture of my wife just straight up, like, her face. You know, even the one I posted with, like, my son, he's young enough to where, like, his face will change when he's older. You know, so it's like you won't be able to recognize him in a few years. And I'm not gonna post no update about it either. So like, when you invite somebody into your life and you're showing them how you raise your kid, you're showing them how you run your household, when you do this, when you do that, people are going to have opinions, and whether their opinions are good or bad or right or wrong is irrelevant. Is if you don't want their opinions about your life, then you don't invite people into your house. You know, and and especially these guys, they're all influential people. They're all public figures, and how much they put out is up to them. But
Right.
I do feel like there is some pressure from people to they feel like there's almost this pressure where they're like, oh, well, I have to show, so I stay relevant because I have to, because this is my life and I have to be authentic to myself and post everything. And I'm just kind of like, I feel like you can be authentic and not show literally everything about your life. I don't feel like those two
Right.
are against each other. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I think that's a fantastic point. I think that's a perfect point. But let's...
Black people are so hard on black people. It's like, wow, it blows my mind sometimes. Why do we already know what we're going through, just in America, but we add stress to like we so hard on each other, man. It's ridiculous.
I don't worry, and I can't speak for everyone. I don't worry about us because we're set in our ways. We've been through so much. The shit bounce. I worry about our kids.
Yeah.
Because like you said, to Big's point, we got to fuck up privately.
Yeah.
Some of us, it came a little earlier than others, but for the most part, social media wasn't a part of our growing pains.
I couldn't imagine today.
You know what I mean?
Like,
So
I
that's
look at
what
my kids, and I'm like, it's totally different. Like bullying, when you went to school, if you got bullied to about 8 to 2 o'clock. Now it's 24 hours on social media. Now it's being shared. Now, like,
Okay.
it's a different world.
Okay. So again, this is the same thing we're talking about, right?
Right.
So he said that I got to mess up privately, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, to those that are not on social media posting their lives as kids, what kids that don't have a digital footprint, so to speak, at least as far as social media is concerned, not including YouTube, like just watching videos, but I'm saying things that you upload to. Who are these kids that can't mess up privately?
Well, I'm okay. So I'm a play devil's advocate on this other side of the fence, right?
Yes.
Let's say that kid. Let's say this kid A doesn't have social media, right? So
Right.
doesn't have social media, right? However, is recorded by kid B who does have social media, and that video goes viral, and people are making fun of them.
Right.
Would you say then they still weren't allowed to mess up in private? I would say that's also another angle of it, is that it's not even just that it's the things that you put up, it's the things that other people put up that other people can put up of you. Right? It was like, so like if kid B is recording kid A, and kid A is doing something stupid or whatever, and then that goes on TikTok, and TikTok blows it up, and then like the school that they go to finds out about it, and that ruins that kid's life for whatever thing that they did, whatever thing, whether it was small or big, a big prank, small prank, whatever it was. But now that's part of that child's digital footprint that'll follow them into adulthood for, looking at jobs or whatever. I can see Big Boy's kind of opinion in that sense, where it's like there's cameras everywhere now, even if you're not the one recording yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's the cameras. It's the accessibility of a camera all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And that happens. I've seen it happen. It hasn't happened. It never happened to me, thank God. At least I'm aware of.
Right.
when I was growing up, but also phone cameras weren't that great even back then.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't. Now you have 4K. Everyone's has a 4K recording camera in their pocket all the time. This is a new unique challenge in this way.
Yes.
Before everything was shared orally. Now you don't need any oral rehashing of it. You can just take a picture of it or record it. So that aspect I understand. What I'm talking about is more so the compounded issue that we have of people self snitching on themselves,
Yeah.
self incriminating themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm doing something illegal. Let me post it. Oh my gosh, I'm getting in trouble now.
Yep.
But no, yeah. To your point, the latter does happen. Oh no, that's the right word. The latter is that.
The former.
The former does happen.
Yeah.
In regards to people without them knowing, taking pictures of them or recording them and putting them online. Yeah, that definitely does. It doesn't mean, I feel like that's a hyperbolic statement though. Still saying that kids today have no whatsoever because there are some kids that aren't on social media. I never hear anything bad about them. Or at least when I was growing up, I never heard anything bad about them. I never heard a good thing about them either. There was just nothing, and you had to, yeah. So the cameras, yeah, I definitely get that for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, no, but even to on your point, or even to actually, but to me, it's like, oh, you're their parent,
right?
You're their parent. You're their parent. Tell them to get off of social, restrict the access to social media for your kid until they're at a age where they can handle it. Where they're mature enough to handle it, where they're not going to record and they're not going to post everything that they're doing and where they're at and and even that is dangerous. Where people be posting exactly where they're at. It's like you just doxed yourself. No anybody can roll up on you, and so it's like in that sense, I feel like it's like as parents, you have the ability, you have the authority to dictate what your kids are on, what you kids have access to, and maybe it's too late for them. I'm sure they have like older kids and they weren't at, and their kids probably were, at a reasonable age when social media had like that big boom. And so they didn't, back then you just straight up didn't know what social media was going to do. We had no idea it was going to be this impactful. It was going to be, whether good or bad, is going like the highs and the lows of social media. We had no idea back then. It's like, but now, especially with like you and me, with our young families, and we have little kids, and we've been here. We've seen the worst of social media, and we've seen the best of social media. We can be like, okay, well, you're not gonna get access to any of it until I see that you're mature enough to be able to deal with it. At whatever age you dictate that is, whatever it is, with 16, 18, whatever. Right. But like, it's just that responsibility as a parent now is just more. It's more important than I feel like it's ever been in terms of social media. It's like you just straight, because like my parents had no idea what I was doing on the internet. My parents had literally no idea what I was doing on the internet. They didn't know what websites I was going to, what I was on. They had literally no idea because I grew up in it and they didn't. My parents are baby boomers. They had no idea what I was doing on the internet. And because of that, I had unlimited access to the internet, which for like an 8-year-old is crazy.
Insane.
Would
not recommend.
I would not. No, I would not recommend. For me, like that's why I became traumatized. That's why I became addicted to porn. That's why, is because I had this unlimited access to something that was not understood at the time, especially by parents. And so, but like now we know. I've been to the worst websites where you remember LiveLeak? Do you remember LiveLeak?
I do not.
Live
actually.
Live Leak, it was like for people who remember Live, y'all know what Live Leak was. For people who don't, Live Leak was like a place where you could go and just watch someone get like beheaded. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that aspect of it because it was so wild.
Like, you just watch like cartels beheading like snitches or something, and like that
Wild.
was just a wild thing, and you know that was just part of the internet, and was for me. I was so numb to it. I was like, oh yeah, that's just the internet. But like now I look back on it, I was like, I was 12 years old watching it.
Yeah, but well, you know that never went away, right? You know what it's called now?
What?
Reddit.
Yeah. You're correct. It's Reddit. It's these forums where, and it's so easily accessible.
Discord, yeah.
It's so easily accessible where you can literally just it could be sent to you in a link, and you just click it, and then boom, it's right there. It's so easy to find. It's so easy to find.
But as far as anonymity goes, there even like again, this is why I'm not like fully buying into the kids have no privacy today thing, bro. There are celebrities that we don't even know what they don't have social media that we don't even know what they do.
Yeah,
like what's Macaulay Culkin doing right now?
I don't know.
Only what he wants us to know. Like
in my head, he's still 10 years old, bro. In my head, he's still setting up traps at the house.
Yeah, it's like yo, what's Kawhi Leonard doing right now?
Trying to avoid getting cut from the NBA. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. Actually, we do know what he's doing, but that's not because of social media. That's because he was doing something stupid,
right?
But there is as many others of like, especially actors, bro. They're really good at just not being seen, and then just popping out when they want to be seen. And so, we do have that. It's
Shout
just
out
like
Tobey Maguire.
we want the experience of sharing everything that we're doing, but we also don't want any of the consequences of what we're sharing might bring to us. So it's like you can't. I don't think you can have both. I think you have to pick.
Right.
Like pop out, make it short, have fun with it, get off, uninstall. Like just don't be on it. Like I don't know.
Yeah, for the past, I think it's been 3-4 years, almost 4 years at this point. If I have to post something like on Instagram or something, or not even have to, but like I'll post it and then delete the app immediately. But like pretty much for the past 4 years, I haven't been on anything except YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been on anything.
YouTube is more than enough.
Yeah, it's more than enough, and I use it more so as like I can stay updated with things, but also I use it as a learning tool. Like it's like just like I get to learn so much stuff. So it's like that's the only reason I keep it. But like I haven't been on anything else. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not like you might find accounts. Hey, you might find accounts, but they're not active. You know what I'm saying? The apps are deleted off of my phone. I don't use it, and so if they are active, I have been hacked. And you should report the account to shut it down. Thank you. But yeah, that I agree wholeheartedly. It's like especially I feel like people at this level, you can just hire someone to deal with your social medias. Like it's not completely out of the ordinary for people to leave their social medias to like their team or to just not even interact with it, and then so they're off of social media, so you're not even thinking about it, you know. And so I believe you good bro?
Sorry, I'm getting over the cough.
Nah, I got a cough now, so I feel you. But yeah, I just believe that there's so many options for people to deal with it. It's just that it's not the popular thing. It will be going against the crowd.
Also now, because we're in our 40s, we're in our 50s, and
Dang.
especially you, Dion and Big Boy.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to health, when it comes to going to the doctor,
Yo, bro, you gotta chill, bro. I wasn't prepared for that. Okay, I'm good.
I love that clip. It is.
Damn.
It's in the sacred archive.
Oh, for
Damn.
sure.
I'm sorry.
Bro, I have a soundboard too. I should add that to my soundboard.
Oh, that'd be great, bro.
historically, black men just don't go. You know, we just don't go when it's time for that doctor to put that glove on and put that.
I just turned 45. It's time, and I've been putting that shit off since
No,
March.
no, hold on. Question. I got a question though. Have you had it yet?
I'm telling you, you can't put it off.
Hold on.
So I had my
Big boy, I gotta ask
first.
him.
So I retired in 2017. I had my first doctor's appointment. 8 years out the NBA. My first doctor's appointment was 7 years. So a year ago, I had my first appointment at 44. Thankfully, blood work, everything was clean. But coming back around, I just turned 45 in March. Like it's time to go do it, and I should it. Too busy to prioritize life.
What is that like?
Because we scared of the dentist, the doctor, the tooth fairy.
Black men think they invincible.
Share with us your journey just with health.
Man, me personally, I just went through something that was crazy. And
Can I mention something?
You afraid of the doctor too?
Is this a safe place for me to admit something?
It depends what you're sharing, but yeah.
So my dad's in his 60s, right?
Dang.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. My dad's in his 60s, and you know, every man, you gotta get that checkup for that prostate, that colonoscopy. You gotta do it when you're at a certain age. I told my dad though, I said, don't tell me when you get it, because I'll look at you different.
See, this is what they're talking about in the video, right?
I'm part of the problem. I know.
You're part of the problem.
I know. I'm part of the problem.
This is opposite. This is opposite. Usually it's the father traumatizing the son. You're traumatizing your father.
I know. It's the opposite. But I told him, I said, I don't want to look at you different. Just don't tell me when it happens. I want to look at you like the man who raised me, but you let the doctor do that to you, bro. I gotta look at you different. I know it's wrong. But also, it was a few years ago, to be fair. I was younger. And my frontal lobe hadn't closed yet. So that's my excuse. All right.
And if I didn't go get checked out, I'd have never known.
What led you to get checked out?
Man, I just was like, I was. One thing you got to do is listen to your body.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Like, you got to listen to it. Don't sit back and be wondering and, I'll put it up. Man, as soon as you feel something off, man, you go right to the doctor, whatever. And that's what it was with me. I was like, kind of fatigued or whatever. And man, I was like, man, let me just go see what's happening or whatever. And I went, and they was like, and I was on production in South Africa. I was in Cape Town shooting. I got a crew of like 300, 400 people. I'm shooting every day, and I'm the lead, so I gotta be there, right? So I go to the doctor, they like this, yeah, you ain't going nowhere. And I was like, the hell I'm not. I gotta go back on set. They was like, nah. It's like, nah, I locked the door. I was in the hospital for 16 days. 16 days, dog. But so you have to, man, you gotta pay attention to that. You gotta pay attention to your body.
I'm just want to ask though.
When was the last time you had a doctor's appointment?
It was this year.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah, maybe this year. I think it was the beginning of this year and of last year. Yeah. Yeah, no, I got to for my job. If my job didn't make me, then I would never go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My job doesn't make me.
No.
No. So I don't think I've been to the doctor since I was like 18. And that's
No,
because
that's actually pretty good. I thought you were gonna say last time you was at the doctor was when you was born.
it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago last time.
30 years ago.
Nah, it was because my mom made me when I was like 18. So like that was the last time I went. But like after that, I have not been to the doctors. I have not been to the doctor since. No, I'm not old. I'm not at that age yet. Calm down. I'm not at that age yet. No. I'm not at that age yet. I'm not. Man, I'm gonna. Oh, man, that's gonna be so. I'm gonna have to get over so many like mental barriers to be able to go to that. When it's time, bro. Oh my god.
I remember being a teenager. I don't know if it was to get into high school or I don't know when it was, but I was past puberty. And I remember my family doctor at the time, she was like, my dad was laughing, right? He was like, found it funny. But she was like, all right, close the door. We're going to do a checkup. And I was like, all right, cool. Get your height, get your weight, do whatever. And then she was like, all right, so Isaiah, we're going to pull our pants down. And I'm like, we're going to what? She was like, we're going to pull our pants down. You're going to go over here behind this sheet. It's covered. I can't see you. Get undressed or redress. All we got to do is just make sure that everything is developing normally. And I was like, I remember how, I don't remember the day, but I remember how it made me, I remember how it felt, even to this day, where when she would hit me with the, she was here with it.
With the cold hands.
And she said, cough. I was like, that's not a, I'm having a hard time coughing because I've never had to do this before. She's like, cough. I said, cough. I'm like, she's like, great. And I remember being like, wow, that was awful. That was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to have a checkup like that? Did you have that checkup?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, it was the worst. Yeah, I had this very mean, and she's not mean because she's Indian. It's just part of the description. She's a very mean Indian lady. She just had really bad like bedside manner, and she would just come. She would just be rough with. I remember because I was like young.
Oh.
She would just be rough with, and she would just. And I was like,
oh,
with the cold hands, and it'd be like cough, and I'm like, cough. It was just bad, bro. I couldn't stand that lady. I hated going. That's probably part of the reason why I hate going to the doctors. She sucked.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all. It's not even because I'm black. It's because that lady sucked. I probably would have loved going to the doctors if I had a nicer person. Hey.
Word.
Where is that coming from for us as black men?
I don't know.
It all goes back to be tough, be strong, and we come from these. I mean, you got to go way back to, I hate to throw the slavery thing back in there, but I mean, back in, they took lashes and had to be a man and carry kids from here to there and had to go to work. They didn't have time to worry about if they was getting cancer on plantations and all that. They just had to work day in, day out, or else. So it's like, it's just generational, man. But like, what I wanted to say, and then I'm gonna let you, no, it's never that, man. I love you like cook food. The chefs cook food too, man. Hey, yo, you keep filling that water up. I'm trying to get to the lemonade, and every time my cup get down, hey, yo, chef, every time my cup get here, and I'll be about to.
Chef, let's get some new cups. Chef, can you bring us some new cups? And first of all, why does game have 3 plates?
Hey, man.
Yo, bro, hungry. Bro is hungry.
Yo, that's not even in the frame. He exposing game. That wasn't even in the frame. He said, hey, real quick, I know you can't see this, but I'm gonna say it correctly. I know you can't see this. Why the game got 3 plates? I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. The exposure. Yo, that vest does look wild though. That's a wild vest.
Yeah, he looks like a Gucci cowboy.
He had to loosen maybe some of the bottom ones at each play. He's like,
Meow, meow, meow.
hey, when you do that, you should like zoom in every time. You're like, all the way up.
You give me
Just do
editing
that.
notes during the recording is crazy.
Right.
Editing notes during the recording is insane.
I define a moment. I want to share this with y'all, with all of y'all, because it happened on one day, and that's when I knew. When Chadwick Boseman died, and I read how he died, I was like, and then I went to his age, and I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. It ain't no more of the stubborn, I hate the doctor shit and all of that. And you know, that was one of my favorite, obviously. Yeah. I was just like, and you know, to myself, I was like, nigga, if Black Panther can die, nigga, you can die. It's almost like, you know.
Oh, yo, why is it even funny to me the second time? He said, yo, Black Panther, you could die. Yes.
I get, but I mean, but there's something to being said about that, where it's like Chadwick Boseman is to me a very special case where he died very young from something where the screening process usually was like in your 40s, and he died in his 30s from it. Right. At that time, it was like, oh, you should start screening for like, I believe it was prostate cancer. And usually they'd be like, at your 40s, that's when you screen for it. Like, that's when you take your colonoscopy. I'm sorry, colon cancer, not prostate cancer. Wait, that's different, right? I don't know.
Oh, no.
But like usually you would start the screening for that at like 40s is like, that's when you go for your colonoscopy. But then him dying so young from it, I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, we gotta go even earlier. We have to go even earlier. And so it is kind of like it's funny because it's like, you know, it's like he's not really Black Panther, but it is kind of like a, yeah, bro, anything like he was this dude who was to me becoming one of like an icon. He was gonna become like one of the greatest actors of our time, and to me was one of my favorite actors, even before Black Panther. I loved him in 42, and so for him he was on this trajectory, and to be kind of cut down so young from something that it wasn't preventable, but it was like, you know, like you could have just screened for it earlier, and maybe catching it early would have made a difference. I can be like, yeah, if Black Panther could die, I could die. I can understand that.
Yeah, no, there is definitely an irony to it.
Yeah.
To the young guy playing a superhero that is the most iconic Black superhero ever dies from something that was that has a health-related death, when historically Black people die from health-related deaths, whether from diet or from other things, just from neglect, from going to the doctors and stuff.
Yeah. So him dying the way he did probably had an impact for a lot of especially Black guys who were around his age at the time he died. But he's been gone for a while now, I believe, right? He's been gone since
like 4 years.
Yeah, so he's been gone for a little bit now. So people who were like in their like mid 30s at the time probably could be in their 40s now. Could be like 40, 41 now. And that probably affected him because he was in his mid 30s, I believe. I believe he was like 35, 36. But yeah, so like I get it. It is like, yo, Black Panther, it's funny.
know, when you little, you're like, oh, nothing can happen to Superman, Spider-Man, but like, nigga, Black Panther, like, we black. So it's like, if Black Panther can pass, you know, God rest his soul, that was the defining moment for me. I was
But
like, yeah.
I think even just the conversation, because we would say, oh, where did that come from? I think these kind of conversations help with the dialogue of going to do it. Like with me, Kirk, I don't know if you know, I was over 500 pounds.
Yes.
My biggest, I was 511, my biggest, I was 511 pounds.
Wow.
And I already
Jeez.
lost weight to have the gastric bypass
You can see
surgery.
him in Soul Plane if you like.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But,
I got a picture.
Shouting out Soul Plane is net. Me and my wife watched Soul Plane the other day because I wanted to introduce her to like black classics, and we watched Soul Plane, and it was just as bad as I remembered. It was just as bad as I remembered. It was so corny, but I loved it so. That's all. I just wanted.
But it's crazy because now, even with, you know, going to the doctor, and I've always been on now the ounce of prevention, pound of cure. And they tell you to go get these prostate exams and do these things, and that's why I have this dialogue. I know a gentleman that passed from colon cancer, and he passed from colon cancer before the age that you're supposed to get checked. And I tell people, man, with life, with me, I'm over 500 pounds. And I tell people, I say, man, everything that you do is like a credit card. You know, with me, severe morbid obesity, it's like I'm swiping it, swiping my health. So whatever comes in, whatever your thing may be that you swipe into this card, promiscuous sex, drug use, alcoholism, whatever it may be, at some point that statement's gonna come. And whatever's on that statement, you're responsible for. So with me at 500 pounds, man, I'm big boy. If I wanted to drive, I can get the bigger car. If I wanted a suit, I can get my suit made. I could accommodate being 500 pounds. And then one day it just felt like, and with me, it wasn't a light switch. It was a dimmer for me. Like with anyone here, your relationship, it's not a light switch, it's a dimmer. Knowing how it's a dimmer. So my mom passed at 57, right? Being morbid obese, I wasn't, oh, my mom passed, I gotta get my shit together. It was more of this dimmer, and then I realized, like, dude, you're gonna die. You're not gonna be here. So when I started to looking into options, and not the easy way out, because the surgery is when you have a 52 card deck, and that's that last card. And that last card was saving my life. So after I did that, that's when I learned how to eat. I learned nutrition, working out, so on and so forth. But even just this dialogue, I didn't know that you had a health scare that put you in the hospital for 16 days. These are real things that's happening to us. Yes. So having this dialogue where somebody say, hey man, I heard it from Dog, man. I heard Matt say, I heard Dion say, Big say, Kirk said, Game said. Sometimes you don't go to certain places. You look at your peers to tell you, hey man, go get that checked out. Go look at
real
that.
shit. I'm gonna schedule my. Like I said, I've been putting it off since March.
Now we going with you. We taking the cameras and all this shit.
Yo, that's wild.
As for me, this probably hits a little bit because I am a bigger guy. I wasn't always, but in more recent years have become a bigger guy, and I have been feeling less like myself, less energy, less energy to do things, wanting to do things in recent months and past couple of years. And I know you've been on your own health journey. Especially as family men, what does this look like for us? What does that look like? Like, what does this mean for us to be healthy?
Yeah, I thought about this a lot, and it's kind of what drives me because I think without my family, I could probably, like Big Boy said, I could accommodate or make excuses. However, I think honestly, I think he said it the best way, which is the honest way, which is you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, like obviously we all know we're all gonna die, but it's like you're gonna die like soon.
Yeah.
Like, like you're the reason why you're going to die soon. Like like, and it's like just that reality where it's like, if I'm gonna die, I don't want it to die because I can't put a cheeseburger down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to die over something stupid. Like, I want to die because it's my time to go.
Right.
Like, I want to die the way that I'm supposed to die. I don't want to die. Oh, like, man, Isaiah, he really did love that pie, man. He was, and it's like to be killed by something I could have just moderated it, but have been better is stupid.
Yeah.
It's really stupid. And it's like, when my wife met me, I was 100 pounds lighter than I am right now. Granted, I was a really skinny kid, so it's a little skewed. So let's say I'm 65 pounds heavier than I should be. So, because I went from extreme to extreme,
Mhm.
I have a responsibility to take care of myself.
Yeah.
The same. I don't separate the responsibility to take care of myself to me providing for my family. They're like the same. Me going to work, me coming home, me serving my family, loving my wife, loving my kids, eating well. That all goes together because if I'm not here, then how can I do those things?
Right.
Um, so it definitely hits home, and it's definitely the things that I've been putting into practice now. And it's the choices, the many choices that we have throughout the day that all kind of go toward. Damn it! Excuse me. Reset. That all kind of go toward the idea of I need to serve my family. I need to be alive, and if I am dying from obesity, I would not be alive
Yeah.
to serve my family. Um, you know,
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of recently gotten that where I'm trying to go about it differently than I have before because you have those moments where you're like, okay, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start doing this, and then like you do it and you do it for a little bit, and then you kind of just something happens, the holidays come, Thanksgiving comes, something like that, and then you just kind of like fall back into old habits because you're like, I'm not gonna miss out on Thanksgiving on that. They making pumpkin pie. I can't miss on the pumpkin pie. They only make that once a year, and then fall back. So for me, I also used to kind of take pride especially when I was younger and better shape. I used to take pride in eating the most caloric intake thing I could, and like it was like, okay, give me the biggest burger you can with the most bacon on it with the da 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 da. And it's like I used to take more like pride in that, but then I also started doing less with my body. I started not playing, doing sports as much. I was, working out as much, and so my body was used to this caloric intake, but I would expel it in some way, and I stopped doing that. And so for me now, the journey I'm on is, hey, Reese, you don't have to choose the most disgusting meal on the menu to eat. You can choose something a little bit better for you, and make that choice, and then next day make a better choice, and then the next day make a better choice. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do more so. It's just kind of making a better choice whenever I look at it like a menu or something. It's like, okay, hey, instead of getting the triple bacon burger with a brisket.
the triple bacon bypass burger.
Yeah, triple bacon bypass burger with donuts as the bun. Instead of doing that, how about you just get a regular cheeseburger? And it's like, is it still technically? It's like, yeah, but like for me, it's like it's a better choice than what my body's used to. and so I'm just trying to kind of make that change, in a way, because me doing the extreme of jumping to, hey, get the salad, it hasn't worked so far. So I'm gonna try this and see where it lands me. Hopefully,
You know what I'm saying? Everybody be going. Everybody, man. Who's in? All in, say aye.
But I think this takes us back to something we said at the very beginning, especially with me, like when I go through shit, I share it because I feel like it helps. And it starts a dialogue or conversation, and these type of conversations, and I think you said something earlier, you don't have no homeboys. We do have homeboys like that, but when we're around them, it's not those, like, that's just not it's other shit we talking about. It may be family, it may be personal, but it may never get that deep. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, especially in the circles we've been in, there's not very many people you can really trust, whether it be relationship, health, shit I'm going through with my kids. So it's just like most of the time we just find a way to keep it in and keep moving.
Which is crazy for a community of people that have always been ostracized, always been minimized and oppressed. You would think that we could have a village amongst each other, that we can trust each other with everything, but unfortunately we haven't gotten it yet. But I do see progress.
But you got to think about what we have right now, Kurt. You just knocked down a whole new door where others are going to want to come sit down and have a free meal and talk about these types of things because the meal was so good. I want to come back.
Even we not scheduled.
Mix me in with some other brothers.
Dog back there smoking with a plate.
Nah, man, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Me personally, man, like I'm trying to do better with this these days. Dog can tell you, I done flaked on dog about 5, 10, 12 times.
You getting better though, gang.
And so once I looked at, the reels you did and the work you've been doing on this, particular show, I was like, I got to be a part of that.
Wow.
I have to be a part of that.
Really?
And if you know me, like I did this, my boy, so of course, I went and did that. But I get requests all day, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't flake on my own homie.
Wow.
But this right here, this is special, man. And this,
But it's great dialogue too. And when you think about, all the smoke in certain places,
Safe spaces.
Safe spaces.
Well, we don't have to worry
can
about our
go
publicist
to.
calling us saying, "Hey, man, why did you do that interview with Kirk Franklin? You shouldn't have said that." This is one of those things where the publicists will be excited for the fact that we were able to do this without their
And you
permission,
gotta
without their
create it.
blessing.
That's what's so beautiful. Right, yeah. and you gotta create it, man. And we were so used to waiting for green lights in production and is this company, and when you just say, I'm gonna do it myself.
Well, let me say this though, Kurt. There are so many different podcasts and shows with negative energy and things for the wrong reasons. Like, I was going to create something like this, not like this, but like this, to where it could be beautiful conversation, peace, and not so much about who's going to jail, who's in trouble, what's wrong with him, but uplifting. So you beat me to the punch, so that's why I'm here to support you and let you know I got your back whenever you need me, and any of my connections is yours.
And you have you got one of the biggest comedians in the world, one of the biggest rappers,
This table is heavy.
the biggest voice.
All right, they are glazing each other crazy right now. They're glazing crazy. Listen, I get it. I'm trying to look for this conversation. Breaking generational curses and being a better father. We are 4 minutes into that, and they have not talked about neither of those things.
I mean, hey, I'm here for the maybe not as much, but I'm here for the support.
Yeah.
It is nice to see.
I mean, yeah, listen. Is it different from other things where other things is usually more drama based, and because it's drama based, it probably gets more clicks and yada yada yada. But like, with this, it's you get to have good conversations and it's more positive and uplifting, and it's a safe place for people to kind of hone their thoughts. Yes, 100%. It's been too much glazing though. We've been glazing for like 2 minutes straight. That was kind of crazy.
What I was thinking about when they were talking was, it is sad that they feel like they don't have people, or it's more people that they can trust to even have this conversation. I think that's sad. Like I literally thought that. I'm like, man, that's pretty sad. They're like, to come on a TV show to have this conversation.
But isn't that normal? How many I feel like for the average person, how many people in the average person life do the average person have to like how many people in the average person life do they have that they can talk on a deep level with? I feel like not most people don't have that many just in general. You know, maybe
No, well, no,
maybe one, two, most three.
yeah, but no, but what I mean was specifically what Matt said when he said that even when me and my homies get together, we're not talking about this. But like I have people in my life that want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about other stuff.
Mm.
They want to know what's going on with me, not what I'm doing, not what I'm producing, not how my family is. They want to know how I'm doing. So I guess I said that they don't have that.
Right.
Or maybe he doesn't have bros that their first
Well, their
conversation
priorities.
isn't what are you doing? Like, which I'm not to crap on his friends. Like that's not what I'm doing. But like, I am very blessed in that way. I have a few people in my life that are very interested in me first as a friend, and they ask how I'm doing and stuff. And so I hope that they all can get that because that is really important.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean that probably also lends to probably him not crying for 30 years. If you have nobody to break that barrier with, you know what I'm saying?
That'll do it.
Like, if you have nobody where you can feel comfortable with to break the barrier of talking, because sometimes really all it is to get to that point is to talk about it. Now I don't know his life. I don't know if he's in like therapy or counseling or whatever, but like sometimes even someone being a witness to me ranting about something was enough for me to be like maybe something that I didn't cry out before I started crying at then because I was able to express myself in like in the rawest way I felt capable of doing at that time. And if he has nobody he feels comfortable with doing that, then like kind of like you said, that is sad. You know?
In the
Yes,
world.
sir.
One of the biggest sports podcasters in the world. You come on now.
Yeah, this is great, man.
No, this is you.
What you're doing, man, is phenomenal. It's needed, because there isn't no space for a lot of people to talk or even hear these kind of conversations. Like we were just talking about health or whatever. Wow. Some people hearing you right now talking about you about to go get checked out. I guarantee it's gonna be at least 50 men going. Man, let me go get checked out.
Let me ask you this, Kirk. Why did you and your team and your people create Den of Kings?
Well, first of all, I'm humbled that y'all came, and I'm very blessed by y'all's kind words. That is super kind of y'all. This just came from a birthday dinner. I've always had dinner with my bros, and I've always loved asking questions over dinner. I mean, so this is just something I've done my whole life, just talking, asking questions over dinner. Because again, I didn't have family, I didn't have siblings, I didn't have cousins. So when I would get around people, I was inquisitive. I wanted to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always nosy. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to learn. I love learning. And so my 55th birthday this year, my partners Phil Thornton, incredible Phil Thornton and Ron Hill, they were like, you know what, man? Let's try to make this a show. And we financed it our own. Like we didn't have no backing, you know what I'm saying? We had a great partner named Norman Jomfrey that came to the table, and it was like, we just gonna pay for it our own and see what happens. And man, just by the kindness of God, he was super dope. And when I found out that y'all said yes, bro, it was like,
Kirk, ain't nobody gonna say no to you, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. You are extension cord to the Lord.
That's what I'm saying, Kirk. You don't understand. Everybody feels like you ain't got.
Yo, I've never heard that term in my extension cord to the Lord. Why is that a bar?
That's big boy.
Why
bro.
is that it is so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, but also
Mad funny.
so genuine.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's like you the dude I go to if I got a question about the Lord.
Yeah. Extension cord to the Lord.
Extension cord to the Lord.
That's
kind of fire.
That's
somebody make that an album.
So, But yeah, you know, we can wrap it up right there. Big dog, Isaiah, I appreciate you, bro, joining me with this. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, bro. I think you had a lot of good insight, and I really appreciate joining me on this. Yeah, we had our own Den of Kings, if you will. So yeah, say goodbye to the people. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I appreciate you guys having me. Reese, thank you for having me, bro. This is basically just a normal conversation we have.
Yeah.
Off the air, we had on the air. Yeah, God bless y'all, and hopefully I see you guys soon.
Yeah. Everybody, yeah, appreciate y'all. We will be back soon with another video. I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna react to next. So I appreciate y'all. So hey, don't stress, stay blessed, and I'll see y'all in the next. Peace.
In the mind, oh, what a dangerous game. Just a moment with the wrong thought, here comes the downfall like a flood, like a flood.